Okay, I'm just gonna pop in real quick and show you exactly what I did, and I'm not using my microphone, so hopefully you can hear me. But it took me quite a while to kind of figure out how I was gonna do this. So I want to tell you how I did it. First, what I did is I took my 6 envelopes, because I'm having 6 envelopes here. Let me grab one and I'll show you. And I opened it and I just lined it up on my grid mat, and I put washi tape here. I used a wide one, and I lined it up here. I only did it 4 inches up because I didn't want it to cover the flap at all. So I did 4 inches like this, and I stuck it down and cut it. And then I flipped it over on the opposite side and covered the back of that washi tape. Again, the same overlap. So then I had 6 envelopes with this washi tape like hinge on it. So then I stacked up all my 6 envelopes, as you can see, and they had the washi tape hinge sticking out. I clipped them together with these, and then I sewed down the side. So then I had just my 6 envelopes with the washi tape hinges sticking off to the side sewn together. And as you can see, the top does not have that washi tape hinge, but that's okay. The reason I did it is I was trying to do a paper hinge, and as you can see, I've got a ton of stuff over here where I did that. But the pages weren't flipping very fluidly, and I knew that washi tape was going to be a really flexible hinge. And this album is not really going to be handled very much. This is more just an interactive card for Father's Day for Ernest from Kaylin, and Kaylin's going to write letters and different things and put them in the pockets. So it's not going to be something that he's going to look at every day. I'm not really looking for durability here. I'm looking for it to stay together, of course, but it's not like it's going to be flipped through multiple times a year, maybe once or twice a year. So then I ended up using the craft paper from the collection that I'm using, the Goodfellas collection, and I just cut it slightly larger on all sides, and then I layered it on top, again putting my clip here. I scored about 3/8 of an inch, just enough to cover my washi tape hinge, and you can kind of see it sticking out a little bit. And I scored it right here, that way the cover would open well and be able to fold back. And then I just double stitched over it yet again. So I double stitched on the washi tape hinge before I put the cover on, and then I double stitched over it again with the cover. So that's everything, and by using the clips, it keeps it all lined up. As you can see, all the envelopes are well lined up. There you go. So I'm going to put this part of the video first, and then I'm going to put the video, that way you can actually see it in action. I didn't know how I was going to create this. I've kind of been fiddling around with it. So I'll put the description first, and then you can watch it happen. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Okay, now I'm actually going to show you the process of me putting this together. Now, again, this was very much trial and error, and this is about the third or fourth attempt I had at this. You can see a pile of other envelopes on the top left of the screen where I tried this and it did not work, just different ways. And you know, that's kind of what scrapbooking is about to me, is you just keep trying things until you find a way to make them work. So what I'm doing is I lined up my envelopes on my grid mat, and I'm doing about a half of an inch of the washi tape on the envelope, and then about a half of an inch hanging off the envelope, and then I'm just making sure it's only the 4 inches on the bottom of the envelopes, and I'm making sure it does not cover the flap. Now, I had 3 envelopes done, and I'm going to go ahead and do 3 more envelopes. I'm going to throw all the other ones away, because at this point I realized this is going to work the way I want it to work. And I will just trim off, as you saw, I'm trimming off the extra adhesive off the bottom. So once all these envelopes are stacked together, all of the little extra washi tape hinge piece that you see there will all kind of line up together, and that's where I'm actually going to do my stitching. Now, since I have done this video, I actually went to Michael's and purchased a thicker washi tape to use on another envelope album that I'm going to make at some point. And so we'll see if that works any better, but this one actually worked fairly decently. So then I've got my little hinge here, and I am actually going to take it to my sewing machine and double stitch down that hinge, but I do want to go ahead and create my cover. So I pull out these craft papers that came in the Goodfellas kit, And I'm going to trim them to be a little bit larger than my envelopes. So I want it to cover the hinge, and I also want it to cover, of course, the envelopes themselves. And I was just paying attention to the direction of the pattern paper. So it has some arrows that are going left and right. So I wanted to make sure that that was the same on the front cover as well as the back cover. And so I'm just kind of lining this up here. And this is definitely not the thickest paper, but I thought it was fairly thick. It's definitely thicker than just a regular piece of cardstock. And I just wanted to make sure both my front cover and my back cover are the same size. So I was going to put it all together, and I decided, you know what, let me go ahead and stitch the envelopes together just for stability reasons, and then I will stitch my cover on. And I have this video sped up, I think, 5 times or 6 times, so it's fairly quick. It's just to kind of give you an idea. Now, as you can see, I made sure that I stitched, or that the hinges are going to be far enough over that the flaps of the envelopes still come up. Now, I knew that my envelope book here is going to be fairly thick, so I just created a scored edge to kind of create a spine on both the front and the back cover. Now, if I knew that what was going to my envelopes was going to be very thick, I would have also added maybe 1/8 of an inch, kind of what do you call it, a gusset, or like just an allowance on that front cover to allow for those envelopes to kind of stick up a little bit more. So now I'm stitching that down, and that is going to be the end of the assembly. Now we'll have a part 2 on Thursday that shows my embellishing and my decorating, but here is the envelope book done, and I just did a double stitched border there. So there you go, that's how it looks for right now.